Welcome to the Sonship Sports channel, and ladies and gentlemen, it's finally here. The start of the college football season. And welcome to the first broadcast of Blue and Gold Till I'm Dead and Cold. All things Notre Dame. We do all the work every day, so you're more informed Saturday. Now, this week, kickoff, first game of the year. Ireland, Notre Dame, and Navy. What an amazing rivalry this has been, going all the way back to World War II. Navy helped Notre Dame stay in business. And Notre Dame has played Navy every year since. Some of this conference realignment stuff that's being talked about, I'm not sure how much longer Navy's going to stay on Notre Dame's schedule if Notre Dame is, for all intents and purposes, forced into joining the Big Ten Conference, or the Big Ten would possibly stop playing Notre Dame altogether. So there's some hard decisions coming up. But right now, let's just talk about football, the Notre Dame roster, and this game, because I am super pumped. I haven't been this excited about a Notre Dame team in a long time. The depth, the fact that we went out and got, we got the best transfer portal quarterback in all of college football. Sam Hartman is the all-time ACC touchdown passing leader. So he is an adult in the room. He's a six-year senior, so he's definitely an adult in the room. Also, preseason All-American Benjamin Morrison is right off the bat a top 3 cornerback in college football. I'm a little biased. He might be the best cover cornerback in college football, and he's still young. But we've got lots to talk about, so let's dive into it. First and foremost, we're going to talk about the aforementioned Sam Hartman. Just had a really nice NIL deal. Sam Hartman's getting a lot of NIL deals. So I don't know how the backup long snapper's feeling about that, but Sam Hartman's feeling pretty good. No, seriously, guys, he took care of the whole team. He went out and got shoes for everybody on the team with some of that new NIL money that he got. So that was pretty cool. No, Sam Hartman, I went to the Blue and Gold game this year, back in the spring, and right after that Blue and Gold game, Tyler Buckner put his name into the transfer portal. Tyler Buckner beat a very good, red-hot South Carolina team last year. And he played in the spring game opposite of Sam Hartman, and when that game was done, he went, I don't have a snowball's chance in Hades of beating this guy out. And he doesn't. Sam Hartman was dropping dimes to true freshmen like Jaden Greathouse, who had a spectacular spring game. This is the best quarterback situation that Notre Dame has been in since the Brady Quinn and Rick Meyer days. And that's going back a little ways now. So the fact that they have that type of signal caller as a 6th-year graduate transfer as the field general is huge. So what do you want when you have a great quarterback? Well, you want to keep them clean. And Irish fans, your offensive line this year has some studs. Arguably the best left tackle in all of college football, Joe Alt. Blake Fisher, who's easily a top 10 right tackle, and Zeke Correll, who's top 10 or maybe even top 5 center. Then you got 4 really good guards battling it out for those final 2 spots. Pat Coogan right now has the edge on Billy Schrauth, which was kind of a shock because Schrauth was thought to be a shoo-in for that left guard position, and Pat Coogan has just came out of nowhere. Also, you got Rocco Spindler that is eking out Andrew Kristofik at the right guard position. And Kristofik, again, just like Schrauth, was ahead of Spindler earlier this year. What that also tells me, though, is you got a guy like Tosh Baker, a backup swing tackle. Not only does Notre Dame have great starting 5, they have great depth as well. Having possibly the best left tackle in football guard your blind side. Let me put it this way. If you give a subpar quarterback 5 to 7 seconds to throw, he's going to find someone. If you give Sam Hartman 5 to 7 seconds to throw, he's going to dice you up all game long. So that is a plus for Notre Dame. Now, obviously, Michael Mayer, a newly minted Las Vegas Raider, is no longer with the team. But Mitchell Evans, Holden Stays, this is still a deep tight end room with a lot of talent. Now, are any of them Michael Mayer? No. Well, at least not yet. And it's going to be difficult for anybody to repeat what Michael Mayer did. But to say that this room doesn't have talent would be a disservice. Right now, you have Eli Raridan that's battling an injury. But and then, of course, Ken Bauman, who I feel so bad for this kid. He's had such a struggle to get on the field during his time at Notre Dame. Davis Sherwood, who can also play fullback, is in that room as well. Notre Dame has a lot of good talent in that tight end room. Probably the deepest room that Notre Dame has from a skill position platform, the running back room. They literally could be 5 deep, and I'm not even joking here. You have Audric Estime, who is the unchallenged starter. He's a big bruising back at 227 pounds. We all saw what he did last year. Backing him up, I guess it just depends on who's having the better week of practice. Jabron Payne, who is the redshirt freshman. You have Jadarian Price, who last year, when I saw him at the blue and gold game, actually was neck and neck, in my opinion, with Audric Estime as someone who is producing and is going to be this next tier level runner. And then he blew his knee out. Well, he's back and he's looking really good. So Jadarian Price is going to be a force in that backfield as well. Then we went out and got Devin Ford from Penn State, transfer senior, who not only is a very capable change of pace back, but he's got a lot of kick return potential as well. So right now he's number 1 on the depth chart in the 2 deep for that kick return position. Then we got the freshman Jeremiah Love, the kid out of St. Louis, 5'11", 197 pounds, amazing moves in the backfield, just runs the ball really, really well. So many of these guys would be the number 1 guy on a lot of good FBS teams. I'm not talking about just the teams in the group of 5. I'm talking Power 5. Well, whatever's left of the Power 5 now. Well, I guess it's still around for another year, but next year, obviously, Pac-10 ceases to exist. So anyway, I digress. The wide receiver room, that's the big question mark. You got Jaden Thomas, and then you got a lot of question marks. Now, not to say that they're not talented, because most of these guys are 6'2", 6'3", 6'4". You got Deion Colsey, who's 6'5". So many of them are 4 stars with 4.4, and some of them even less than sub 4.4 speed. So we'll see what that room looks like. Looking for a lot out of Tobias Merriweather this year. He really needs to step up. He's got all the talent in the world to do so. The wild card and the real interesting one is the running back now turned slot receiver, Chris Tyree. Chris Tyree, one of the fastest players in college football. I remember the kick return he had against Wisconsin, where he just flipped a gear and wasn't nobody catching him on the field. So having him in the slot will be a nice weapon for Sam Hartman. I thought he looked pretty good throughout not only the spring game but throughout training camp. Jaden Greathouse is gonna be an All-American. He just is. Jaden Greathouse right now, he was beating extremely good cornerback and safety members of Notre Dame in that spring game. Jaden Greathouse, over 6 feet tall, over 200 pounds, can run, can muscle you, can go up and get the jump ball. He's a really good route runner with really nice hands. I think you guys are really going to like Jaden Greathouse. Rico Flores, obviously, he is also a freshman this year that is going to get a lot of playing time. He's in the 2 deep already behind Tobias Merriweather. I'd be interested to see Deion Colsey and what he's going to do, because he's had an up and down time with Notre Dame. They'd like to have more out of him than what they've gotten so far, but he's right behind Jaden Thomas there. Thomas is going to be the main one on that field that they're looking to get production out of. But with a quarterback like Sam Hartman and the young weapons that Notre Dame has, someone I haven't mentioned yet is the young man out of Texas, Braylon James, 6'2", 195 pounds. Another one could see a lot of playing time. And then don't forget the graduate, Matt Salerno, who has been an outstanding possession receiver for Notre Dame. But it is probably the biggest question mark on the offense. Now, moving over to the defensive side of the ball, we have a graduate transfer from Ohio State, who didn't get on the field as much as you might have thought at Ohio State. Javante Jean-Baptiste. He's basically splitting time with Osafa Mensah. They're both going to see significant snaps on that strong side defensive end. The weak side, or the Viper position, the main pass rushing position, Jordan Botello, he's holding that starting spot down. But an interesting battle has just started to kind of creep up. Josh Burnham, who they couldn't decide if they wanted him to play linebacker, D tackle, D end, he's slid in nicely at the Viper position, and he's challenging junior Tuihalamaka for some playing time. Right now, they're neck and neck, and some people are saying Burnham's even a little bit ahead of Tuihalamaka, who was basically the written in number 2 on the depth chart for that Viper position. But these are good problems to have, Notre Dame fans. You don't want a thin D-line room. Now, in my estimation, 2 of the top 5 players that Notre Dame has, offense or defense, are their starting defensive tackles. Howard Cross, the third at the nose, and Riley Mills, both of them looking for enormous seasons out of both of them. They could be in the mix for some All-American talk. Linebacker is interesting this year. You basically have 4 guys who are trying to get their snaps in there. J.D. Bertrand at middle linebacker, he's the easy one. He's not going anywhere. Then you have this mixture of Jack Kaiser, Maris Leofau, and Jalen Sneed. Jalen Sneed, if those of you who remember last year's 5-star, I think Notre Dame is starting to look at using Jalen Sneed as kind of their college version of Micah Parsons. He can play linebacker, but if you throw Jalen Sneed down at defensive end on passing downs, he can be a game wrecker. And they've been using him in training camp that way, and they've had a lot of success with that. So look for Jalen Sneed to not only get snaps at that linebacker spot. Right now they have him penciled in at Rover, but he could probably play weak side as well. He definitely can drop down into that defensive end position in passing downs and beat a lot of guys off the snap. He definitely could be our version of Micah Parsons on the collegiate level if they use him properly. Jack Kaiser, Maris Leofau, you've got some experience with both of them. Both Maris Leofau and Jack Kaiser are graduates, as is J.D. Bertrand. Then you have a couple of nice freshmen back there. Drake Bowen, a true freshman, backing up J.D. Bertrand, and Jaden Osbury, who recently has really come on strong. They thought this kid might just play some special teams this year and maybe may have to redshirt. Well, now he's on the 2 deep, right behind Maris Leofau, and he's going to get himself on the field for some defensive snaps as well as on the special teams. As far as special teams go, like I said, they brought in Devin Ford as a kick returner. You now have moved Chris Tyree over to that punt return position, which he hasn't done before. So it'll be interesting to see how that works. But I don't know if the Irish have a more dangerous player than Chris Tyree at when he's in space. The last group I'm going to talk about here, going back to the defense, is a really special group. And that's the secondary. Benjamin Morrison, I think, could be the best cover corner in college football, and he's only a true sophomore. So this kid gets it. His instincts are sick. He just seems to know where that ball is going, and he gets there first. Teams who play against Notre Dame usually don't pass it to his side of the field anymore. And that was towards the end of last year when he was a freshman. So I can only imagine what it's going to be like as a sophomore. You have a lot of depth in that secondary, a lot of experience. Cam Hart and Clarence Lewis, both of them seniors or graduates. Clarence Lewis playing the nickel behind Thomas Harper, who is the graduate transfer from Oklahoma State. Looking for big things out of him in the nickel this year. They also brought in Antonio Carter II from Rhode Island to mix in that safety room with guys like Ramon Henderson. And of course, right now the starters, DJ Brown and Xavier Watts. I think this secondary room could be special. The backups at corner, Jaden Mickey, the aforementioned Clarence Lewis. You also have Christian Gray, the freshman, who I think is going to get on the field. Christian Gray was one of the higher touted freshmen coming out this year. Notre Dame could make some serious waves with the team that they have. This game against Navy in Ireland, Notre Dame, I believe, is 20.5 favorites. Navy's top 5 players that they have that I think Notre Dame needs to watch for. If you look at their fullback, Daba Fofana, in that triple option that Navy, God, I hate playing against that triple option too. Notre Dame's defense is going to have to be disciplined. They just are. Fofana is great as a runner and as a blocker. And he can cause you some problems. And these military schools run this triple option because they're not getting the 4- and 5-star athletes like Notre Dame is. So they have to be able to beat you with fundamentals and technique and things like that. And that triple option can do that. So apart from Fofana, I would say their defensive lineman, Jacob Busick, I would put him in their top 5. Their middle linebacker, Colin Ramos, I would put him in their top 5. Lane, the safety, and Bernyard, the nose tackle. All of those guys are in Navy's top 5. From a talent perspective, though, that's not where they are going to beat Notre Dame if they have a chance. They are going to have to slow this game down. They are going to have to keep Sam Hartman off the field. Navy still runs that 3-4 defense. They've got a lot of moving parts back there. They try to confuse the offense by not allowing them to know what they are doing on the defensive side of the ball. A lot of moving pieces, different players that can play multiple positions. You got defensive ends dropping back into linebacker positions and safeties coming down. You have all sorts of people flying all over the place. So it should be interesting to see. They also have a new head coach this year. Brian Newberry comes in with a lot of fanfare around him. Navy's excited about that. So we'll have to see how that goes. On our next show, we are going to talk about Notre Dame's schedule. Because if you look at Notre Dame's schedule, yeah, they have some tough ones on there. But if they serve at home, which won't be easy because they got Ohio State and USC at home. But if they serve at home, the road games are all winnable, including that one against Clemson. And we'll tell you why the next time we talk. So thank you very much for joining us on this maiden voyage of blue and gold till I'm dead and cold. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Please share this video. Leave a comment. Let us know how we're doing. And we will see you next time.